How's everybody doing? It's a lovely day for a brain dump. I've been talking at a lot of Ignites, pretty much all of them, that have been held in Dublin. This is the first one I'm very nervous at. And the reason why I'm nervous is because it's traditionally held in the Science Gallery. And the Science Gallery I'm familiar with. That's my context. I'm comfortable there. The problem with speaking at a music festival is that I don't have any musical talent whatsoever. So I wasn't really sure what I was going to talk about. I can't play an instrument, I can't sing, so that probably means that I shouldn't be talking about music, right? But I wanted to make sure that what I was going to speak about was relevant anyway. One thing I do know about a bit is the way people consume media on the computer. So what happens is these days, everything that we consume media-wise and content-wise is viewed at through a digital prism. And these cool cats will prove that for you. And what people have become used to and expecting is this content should be free because there's so much content out there. Why would I pay you for content when I can get the same or similar content somewhere else for free? There's no way the paywalls work these days. And the funny thing about music is that traditionally, actually, it worked that way. For the better part of a century, music was given away for free. It was called radio. It was an ad-supported music delivery system, and the music companies were very happy with that because what happened was you'd listen to the music on the radio, you'd be very happy with it, you'd go to the store and you'd buy the record. Nobody is saying that creative artists shouldn't be remunerated for their activities, for what they've, what they put out there. That's just the way the world works. That's business. But when you look at the macroeconomic realities of it, if you remember your economics 101 and supply and demand curves, the more supply is, the lower the price drops. So price is totally out of equilibrium because there's an infinite supply chain, meaning that I can take a piece of digital content, I can replicate it with no loss of quality and distribute it infinite ways. And there's nothing anybody can do to stop me. So what happens is the music companies are now criminalizing people for doing that, which is not the people's fault. So they call them pirates, which is actually a pretty cool name. You could be called worse things. And you could either look at it one of two ways. You could either look at it as a business opportunity that you no longer have to produce things in order to make money off of people, and you can distribute things with very low overhead, or you can look at it as a problem. And the reality is that the music industry is fine. There's nothing wrong with the music industry. The record industry is dying. And traditionally, the record companies who have been in control of the distribution of music are now going out of business. Revenues around music are pretty much flat. They're the same that they've always been. It's just that money's going to different places. I mean, when was the last time you were in a record store? I say I haven't been in a record store in years, but I go to iTunes almost every week. So the people that are getting the money traditionally are not getting the money these days. So what the IRA has done is they've actually decided to sue their own customers, which is the most insane business model that I can imagine. And they think that it actually will help them, even though it's been statistically proven that people who download music, quote unquote, illegally, buy more music and spend more money on music. And actually it's very limiting to the artists themselves. Because you look at the stuff like Trent Reznor's doing and OK Go guys, and they actually had to liberate themselves from the traditional music structure to do cool things. And gratefully not here in Ireland, but most Western countries actually put a levy on recordable media that you pay irregardless of whether you're going to do with that media because they want to keep maintaining their income stream. And that's unfair. And now you have people who have a platform and a megaphone and fame, and they think that gives them a right to say the stupidest things in the world, and it passed off as legitimate. This is a legitimate opinion. I've since deleted all of John Cougar's music off of my iPod, just so you know. But there are people out there who are successfully monetizing music distribution on the internet. Now, all of these companies, I would place a very strong bet, have received letters of cease and desist letters from the RIAA. But when you have a frumpy middle-aged woman from the middle of nowhere in the UK who can get 50 million views on YouTube and become an overnight sensation, why do you need the music companies? The fact is you don't. The whole economics of the distribution network have changed. The good news is that the music record companies are not going to be in business much longer because they look at piracy as the cause of their problems rather than a symptom of their problems. And that's what the rot inside of their business model is about. So just before I step off and the RIA moles in the audience slap me with a subpoena, don't pirate music, okay? It's not good. Every time you do that, a kitten dies. And let's change our tactics from pirating music to pirating something much more important, like beer. Thank you very much.